I have a cat named Jasmine and a dog named Mandy.
Aww.
They sleep, eat, or lick themselves for 99% of the day, so if a book was written featuring either of these two furry, four-legged bums in it, who am I kidding? I would still read it because they're just the cutest.
It's gonna rain cats and dogs, folks.
Anyway, today I'm sharing a special breed of books, ones where cats and dogs are involved. So keep watching to find out which 6 I consider the best in show. Up first is American Wolf by Nate Blakesley. This unique book chronicles the actions, personality, and life of 06, a famous female gray wolf who lived in the Yellowstone National Park area.
You still want to dance with the wolf?
The novel does a really good job of setting up the history of wolves in North America, explaining how they were hunted to near extinction by the 1920s and then reintroduced into the Rockies in recent decades. And it's an action that pleased conservationists but then angered some locals.
Werewolf.
Werewolf?
There. What? There, wolf.
In the midst of this battle of could we and should we, the author shines the spotlight on 06. And she's this highly intelligent leader of a wolf pack that ranges in and out of Yellowstone. And she's become the darling of the wolf watching community.
Now who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
It's strange to say, but this book makes you genuinely care about this wolf that you've never even seen. But that's because 06 is living in a high-pressure environment, both in the wolf and human world. She's dealing with hunters and cattle ranchers, while also trying to keep power from other Yellowstone wolves.
And my wolf pack, it grew by 1.
There's a battle throughout about what responsibilities humans have to restore ecosystems if it's in our power to do so. And if you're a dog person, reading about 06 will make you appreciate your own pup's personality that much more. Second on my list is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis.
Can't hear you.
Cats rule and dogs drool, you happy?
You probably already know the basics of this story. Girl finds magical land inside a wardrobe, girl brings brothers and sister along, the siblings befriend talking animals and mythical creatures, then do battle with the evil white witch who's cast the land of Narnia into an eternal winter.
Anya? What's that?
But the legendary star of the show is a big cat named Aslan. He's the creator and king of Narnia who happens to have a deep, authoritative voice with a Northern Irish accent.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
When the Pevensies ride on his back, stroke his mane, or just walk alongside him, you feel the aura and power of Aslan. And I'll admit, I've read this book several times, and the series several times in my life, but I still get goosebumps at times when I read the emotional moments featuring Aslan. And maybe that's because deep down I'm a cat person, or maybe it's because this book is just timeless.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch.
Up next, let's head back into the canine world with The Dog Stars by Peter Heller.
Yeah, I wish I was a canine sometimes.
After a pandemic wipes out most of humanity, a man named Hig, his dog named Jasper, and a gudnut named Bangley live alongside one another in an abandoned airplane hangar, with a lot of their time spent trying to just keep themselves safe from intruders.
No, we will not die like dogs. We'll fight like lions.
Jasper is a blue heeler, and he's Hig's hunting buddy, fishing buddy, and just plain human canine BFF. He's also one of Hig's last connections to the previous normal world, since Jasper had been with Hig in the years prior to this pandemic happening. When there's time, Hig, who's an airplane pilot, takes occasional flights with Jasper to help nearby communities and their sick people. And after Hig receives this mysterious transmission, it sticks in the back of his mind for a long time, and it gives him hope about connecting with others and perhaps building a new life for himself. And that's all I'll say about that for avoiding spoilers.
Who saw Old Yeller?
Another book on my list is The Cat Who Saved Books, and this is by Sosuke Natsukawa.
If you pray enough, you can change yourself into a cat person.
Rintaro's grandfather dies, leaving Rintaro in charge of running his grandfather's bookshop. Then Tiger the talking tabby cat shows up, And he says that he needs Rintaro's help in rescuing books. Once Rintaro agrees to do what he can, the cat transports him to a parallel world where books are being imprisoned, mutilated, and sold only based on their popularity.
You know that I'm a talking cat. There's no such thing.
The cat shepherds Rintaro through a few different missions in which Rintaro has to talk bookish sense into impressive, seemingly knowledgeable book people. The problem is that each of these folks actually has distorted ideas about the purpose of reading and selling literature. Some of it sounds good, but Rintaro is able to pick at the inconsistencies.
But he thinks you're the cat's pajamas. He really does.
This is a great book for book lovers like you and I. And a cute cat that says what it means doesn't hurt either, because honestly, how else would a cat speak if it could?
Yeah, all cats can talk.
Next, let's talk about the book Tiger by John Vallant.
Hey, Tiger.
In 1997, a tiger killed a hunter in eastern Russia and kept prowling around looking for more. So people in this remote village were on the lookout for this feline man-eater.
Why does a tiger hate me so much?
Now this is nonfiction, it's something that actually happened. Vallant turns it into literary fiction, giving it this stylistic oomph, so it's exciting rather than just a boring retelling. He makes the reader question who's hunting who and creates these you'd better look over your shoulder type of moments that really bring the story to life.
Well, the tiger should be called Tiger.
In addition to details about tigers, the book digs into the history of the area, politics, ecology, and so much more. So it's best to know going in that the main story of this striped orange nemesis is a small part in a larger tale. In the end, it's a thrilling story about the relationship between humans and nature and how, as people continue to spread out into previously unpeopled areas, we're bound to bump into these apex predators more and more often. And last but not least is Nettle Bone by T. Kingfisher.
My dog is dying.
This is a dark fairy tale starring Mara, the youngest of three princesses who's learned that an abusive prince killed her oldest sister and is now harming her other sister. So Mara stops doing what she's doing, which is training to become a nun, and she sets off on her mission to rescue her sister from this evil prince. And her first stop is at the home of a dustwife, which is a kind of witch or sorceress who can talk to the dead. And the dustwife's first impossible task for Mara is to make a dog out of bones. And she's doing this just to make sure that Mara is actually deadly serious about going through with this mission.
That's my puppy!
Well, somehow Mara completes this impossible task of building a bone dog, and the bone dog comes to life. From then on, it's one of Mara's most loyal companions on her journey. And other members of this ragtag crew include the dustwife that we talked about, a reluctant fairy godmother, a demon-possessed chicken, a knight, and one or two others. It's a quick grown-up fairy tale with comedy and romance, but this element of domestic abuse gives a huge weight to the whole thing. It adds serious depth to the plot, so even the lighthearted moments aren't too silly. And of course, the bits with Bone Dog in it are sure to appeal to anyone who likes a story with a trusty four-legged friend.
Puppy!
A puppy!
A puppy! A puppy!
What other books can you think of that feature dogs and cats? Let me know in the comments. And if you love creatures big or small, prove it by liking this video or subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, I'll be forced to contact PETA about your actions or lack thereof. Happy reading.